All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk Official Podcast, where we have comfortable and uncomfortable conversations. I'm your host, Juice, aka The Ordinary Brother.
What's good, everybody? I go by the name of King Exodus. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you tap into that YouTube channel as well. All right.
All right. Happy New Year's, people. Christmas, all that. We missed all that, but listen, we're here on a new year, feeling good, feeling blessed, feeling highly favored. My bad, man. And like,
Mhm.
I was listening to Sauce Walker, flavor, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, excuse me on that little pronunciation, man. Oh, man. Coming into the new year, your brother had surgery, y'all. I'm going through a recovery stage, feeling a little better already, man. I got about another week or two before I can get some stitches removed out of my body. But hey, listen, I always say do the necessary things in order for you to get to where you need to be. It requires you to take a sit out, to rechange your diet, uh, go through your little, go through your what's the word I want to say? Go through
Yeah.
uh your rehab, you go to checkups, do all the necessary things to get your body back to where it want to be. Because as soon as I get that green light back on, listen, I can't wait to work out, get things back in motion, and I'll be happy. I'm already happy and excited for it.
Sorry. All right, man. What we doing? Live at 5. I'll let you introduce the first topic, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the pastor's wife. Jamal Bryant's wife, first lady of the church. There was a situation where people said it felt she dressed it inappropriately. The dress she had on, it seemed as if it was see through, and people were saying, "Hey, listen, if you're representing the pastor, the church, and Christian folks of all nations and worldwide, there's a type of uniform or presentation or image you should be able to present yourself with." Now, I'm a person, I agree on a lot of things that people may not agree on. I believe there are certain images you carry out when you're in certain positions. Like the situation that everybody's now saying with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Some of y'all might have caught it, some of y'all didn't call it. There was a situation she came out in some very revealing clothes, and people was like, hold on. I thought you was the professional psychiatrist, script writer, this and that. You present yourself as a professional. What is this? You're 44 years old and everything's see-through. And some people might say, well, there's other situations where men might approve that, like Sierra and Russell. It was like, but those are entertainers and that's a football star. You have pitched yourself off as a professional helper in the community and getting involved with clients. So some people feel like, hey, listen, some people should have the pass to be able to dress how they want and still be professional. And other people say, listen, once you take a certain positions, you don't need to uphold yourself anything different from right then and there. So back on the subject of the pastor's wife, there's been an uproar. You have some people that still feel like, listen, regardless if she's the wife of a pastor, she still should be able to dress how she want, do what she want, and people should be online with it. X sent me a beautiful video just about, say about an hour ago, and the guy said, listen, if you're a Christian woman and you're saved, why are you dressing like non-Christian women? Meaning there should be a big separation between the two if you have really immersed yourself and dived into the doctrine and what you believe in when it comes to upholding image value. And I believe he said there's no way y'all should be identified on the same level. It's impossible. So what's really going on here? Is it we're taking things for not I wouldn't say face value. Are we taking things on the basis where we say we're one thing and we're not, on the basis of being saved? Or are we going to really commit and fulfill the things commit and fulfill the duties of what we're expected to do when it comes to character, image, actions, as well as the involvement within the individuals? You got it, brother.
To keep it G on this one, look, it's not much freedom when it comes to certain things in life. Um,
Look, I ain't gonna
uh,
lie, bro. Say it one more time. I need you to say that one more
not
time.
much freedom when it comes to certain things in life.
Hmm?
Uh, let's do this. Freedom is an acquired taste.
Hmm?
And if we talking economically, you work for that freedom, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? You sacrifice. You have to change for the things you say you want, or you have to change the things you say you want. No cake and ice cream. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we living in a world now where everybody proclaims God, confesses God, but people don't go out to the fullest extent to make sure every level, every aspect of their life corresponds with that confession. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people outside looking in and be like, yo, that's cap. You know what I'm saying? There should be a separation from what a believer, a religious person looks like, walks like, moves like, versus the average person. When the two worlds aren't like visually separate, we have a problem.
Mm.
Like, you want to get closer to God, you got to give up things. You want to be more spiritual and in tune with the universe, you got to give up things.
Mm.
Same thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not sacrificing things, when people look at these ancient civilizations, biblical texture, Old Testament, uh, you know what I'm saying? People literally or physically had sacrifices in the physical, you know, slash an animal, you know what I'm saying? Take the blood, do something with that. But make it more modern in real time, you have to sacrifice things that you want to do that feeds the flesh, the ego, the sexual cravings, whatever. Those are the things you sacrifice time. I hate talking to people that's religious and never read their own damn book. So these are the things that are red flags to me. Yo, you've been this all your life, you never read the book. Cringe. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not taking this serious. So when it comes to something simple as dressing, attire, you have to sacrifice something. That's just how the game goes. So there definitely should be a line in the sand on how a woman of faith, quote unquote, dresses versus women that don't have the faith. Because uh, now the women that don't have the faith, quote unquote, they already know uh, there are requirements to step into that group. So you always want to have requirements. You always want to have standards and boundaries, especially when it comes to your faith. Um, hopefully I don't take it too far on this one, but now I won't go into the Cam Newton thing just yet. But
Man, I
I'll
want to
just keep
pick
it.
back.
Yeah, I'll just keep it there. I'll let you introduce it. But most definitely, yo, men, women, hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? Even if you believe in something and your belief system say kind of don't hold yourself accountable,
Hmm.
I would still question, why shouldn't I hold myself accountable? I would always bring it back to self, no matter who you believe in, what you believe in. If you believe in something that's higher than yourself, hold yourself accountable to a higher standard. That's how you dress, how you eat, how you walk, how you talk. People should look at you and be able to say, okay, bet, I know he rocked with this or she rocks with that. But if every female, going back to females, if every female is naked, then there's no separation amongst the masses when it comes to that particular world. So yeah, you definitely got to, especially if you're the pastor's wife. You're supposed to be the highest woman
First lady.
over all. You know what I'm saying? Like
Lady
that's
is always
crazy.
something.
If you're the
Uh,
first lady of anything, like let's
yes,
take
yes.
it to the let's take it to the underworld. If you're the first lady in a game, like that means you got to stand on certain principles. So certain things you got to put in certain work. You have to do things to separate yourself from the rest of the pack. So to whom much is given, much is required, much is tested. Remember that. So yeah, I'll let you do your thing.
Man, now I just wanted to piggyback off a comment you just said. Now, here we go. So a lot of y'all know about this already. It's the situation with Brittany Rayner, right? I watched a couple of her podcast episodes,
Hmm.
and to touch on this subject that we're speaking about, it should resonate. She
Hmm.
said, "Listen, over time, I mastered social media. I got bored over time, and I needed something that was challenging that could fit for me." She said, "So I found myself in Islam." I said, "All right, let's hear it." So she said, because Islam was strict and had certain things, it was a challenge to her. Now, the thing I didn't, oh man, look, the thing I didn't understand was she felt she had to convert herself in order to dress modesty. And then when the relationship was over, what did she do? She just went right back to who she is. And this is where I have always told X, I said, look, X, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never indulge with women, or I never proceed forward with women who are lukewarm, who just joined, who just are re-baptizing themselves within religion, because you can say they always going to have a pull to go back. They're always going to look at certain things to see if it's working for them. They'll commit to it, and if it doesn't, they'll just change back and think nothing of it. And people feel like because once you renounce yourself in faith, that you don't have to change your ways. And I'd be like, no, 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 no. You still have to change your ways. You can't indulge into the same thing as you once were indulging in. That's not how this works. But in this world, like they said, you can get saved, go to church, and still dress like you're going to the club 24/7, 7 days a week, and still be saved. And I'd be like, that's not how that works, bro. They literally give you a script, a book, a playbook on how to move throughout your life after that. She's wearing the hijab. Stop wearing that. And I said, yo, she even said I only did that for 8 months. I said, you didn't even make it a year. So this is why I said you have to be careful on how people renounce faith, people who do things for certain gimmicks, certain attention base, and that's not healthy. Imagine going a quote unquote almost a year short purity, well not purity, modesty, certain behaviors, and then all of a sudden the next time you do something, you're back to what you were always doing. You got your ass out, hair big, you talk a certain way. It was funny because she said, the craziest thing is, I do believe she's a sociopath. She said she indulged in, you could tell she indulged in different personalities because she said she's always trying to create herself to fix certain narratives. So there's a thing called the heel within wrestling. The heel is the bad guy, right? She let people tell bad things about her. Then she said, I'm going to be that person. Then turn back and say, I'm really not that person. I believe people indulge in certain behaviors, not even for character, because they really do it. But they want to be able to put on a mask and be able to take it off. Like, sometimes I'm like this and sometimes I'm not. But bottom line is, I need y'all to understand that was an image. That was an image thing right there. You converted yourself to Islam. Things didn't work out for you, so you revert back to what you know best for. No, when you uphold yourself in a certain light, you need to stick to that.
Right, right, all right. Let's do the Cam Newton thing. You got that one?
Man, you go ahead and pop it off right there, brother. Okay, I got it. Got it. Cam Newton said something that was very, uh, I said it was very powerful. I said it was very much needed to be discussed. He was saying, hey, listen, when it comes to marriages, we are indulging and celebrating things that were never presented within the Bible, such as the ring, the wedding, uh, the price of what a wedding should cost, anything of that nature. I 100% agree. I always say, listen, if you're getting married under covenant, you should stick to what the covenant says. But what has been matched with that is marketing. No, no, no. You get wedding, it should look like this. If you go back to the Bible, it never says how much you should spend on a ring, how much you should spend on a ring, how much you have to pay for a wedding venue, how much. It doesn't say anything. Most weddings was backyard. Other than you had royal weddings, you had backyard weddings 24/7 all the time. That was okay. But then people say, well, that's the past. You should be able to upgrade. But I was like, one thing I'm learning is no matter what the biblical text has says, people try to use modern times to disregard what the text has already said. One of the craziest things Jamal Bryant did when he was talking about his wife, he started mentioning the Jezebel spirit. He said the
Mhm.
Jezebel spirit is not just in women, but it's in men too. And I said, oh my God, bro. It never said that in the Bible. But you're preaching to your congregation that, hey, listen, the Jezebel spirit is not just women. It could be you men that's out there that know how to control yourself, lusting after these women. This is why the ushers had to walk with their hand behind their backs to convince you Negroes from looking at their backsides. I said, yo, what? This is a pastor preaching something that is not true. So that's why I was like, you have to be careful how people try to mix biblical messages with modern times to also fit organizational beliefs and structures. That was more of a feminine. That was more of a what's that? Feminine? No. What's the not feminine, bro? What's the word I'm looking for? The movement. Feminism. That was more of a feminism approach when he did that. But if you pay attention to his congregation, it's mostly women. And one of the things they always say, if you want to know if a man can naturally lead, look at how many men follow him versus women. It's going to deliver a message. Men align themselves with men, and when they fall in line, the women fall in line. But if a man is only having women behind him, but no men, women behind him and no support from the men, that's saying something. I let it go right there.
Hmm. Um, Pay attention to the market behind what you do. When other people have the control over how you confess your love, how you engage in the family, these are red flags to me. People make fun of quote unquote the conscious community, or you know what I'm saying, people that kind of do things outside of they don't color within the lines of marriage and love and whatnot. You got some people that's like, look, I love this person, but we're gonna go to the courthouse. Hey, I love this person, but instead of getting married this traditional way, we're gonna file our own paperwork, go on a contract with each other, because when you get married, you're just going in contract with the state. And whatever the state laws are pertaining to marriage, how you separate, come together, that's what you agree to. So you have people that's kind of taking, like, what's the word? You're looking for the sovereign route into marriage, and people that don't. I would just say, like, pay attention to everything. Even when you get married, people say, like, the whole concept of a wedding. Traditionally, that changed over time. Even something simple as jumping the broom, that's a ritual. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, all of these things come from, it's a gumbo pot of cultures, right? That Western civilization agrees to. So I ain't gonna go too hard on that, but I would just say, like, if you find that person uh, that you could build with, because we say love is law, family is business,
mm,
um, that you find that capacity to build with, then do what's authentic to you and that person. The minute you allow society, because the original episode would have been society versus parenting, but the minute you allow society to dictate how you engage into
mm,
love and family, then you lose the biggest piece of yourself,
mm,
because that's the most important pieces that you have is how you engage into love and how you engage into family. And then next to that is how you engage sexually with your
mm,
counterpart.
mm,
So if you're not doing the research, the knowledge, and coming up with what works best for you and that person, you're already lost. You're already lost. When you incorporate too much of what society says to do, you're already lost. You know what I'm saying? So you have people that's smart, smarter than the average, right? And they wonder why the relationship life, the marriage, the family is complicated, because you're smart, but too smart for your own good, because you didn't look at how much does society impact my household.
mm,
It's like if you go through a zombie apocalypse, everybody find a gas station or the safe spot, you board it up and shit. You got weapons, food, and everything else, but you allow people to come into that space. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not quote unquote quarantining, you're allowing the sickness inside. And you're
mm.
still trying to build a castle or a fortress around that. But the sickness is already in. The sickness would be society. So you definitely want to choose your partner based on your own research, growth, and development, and then build your love and family based on self. And the coward shit is when people do this, it's not necessarily them and their partner that don't agree or don't see eye to eye sometimes. It's the outside world that condemn you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to feel big. This is when you should be egotistical, people. Not when it comes to small shit and shit that don't matter. When you come and you build with somebody else, you know what I'm saying, and see life and the world the way you see it, the ego is we good, we got us. It's us versus them. The minute you let them dictate what you do, because now you feel a little less secure, you know what I'm saying, at home, because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're not taking the trips. This person not spending the money like somebody else is spending the money. Even on a lower level, you know how many women leave a men because they're not getting what they think other women are getting, and then when they when they get those men, it ends up with the backhand in their face or something worse than what the other guy was doing. Comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying? So just be secure in your home, especially when we talk about marriage and family. Those are the most important things. We talk about society. I always say families create communities, communities create society. If society is fucked up, then families are fucked up. If families are fucked up, you have to go down, you have to go up the pyramid and down the pyramid. So I would definitely say do what works for you and your partner, especially if y'all know better. Rings, trips, all that other shit, it don't matter. If you really want to keep it G, people don't even follow that. Rules are quote unquote the woman's father is supposed to pay for, is it the marriage and your family pays for the reception? Do I have that right?
Yeah, man, I had that wrong. You're supposed to pay for the whole wedding for what I was
Yeah, but
wrong.
somebody's family pays for the reception. Somebody, I think it's the female's father who's supposed to pay for the wedding, and your family pays for the reception, something like that. But if we really want to follow this shit all the way around how it was laid down, a lot of people don't even do that. Y'all just put everything on the man.
Mm-hmm. The same man you're gonna be with, not even on your father.
And let me just say this: instead of putting that amount of money on bullshit, put that amount of money in investments. Like when they sell you the American Dream, and you get this expensive ass wedding, this expensive ass reception, the honeymoon, multiple cars, big ass house you can't afford, dogs you don't even really want. You want them to eat some poison or something because they get on your nerve. Y'all had too many kids y'all can't afford. All this shit, all this debt. That's the American dream. Instead of somebody saying, look, let's just save some of that. Let's put this money in stocks, crypto, investments, real estate.
A
Um,
house.
you know what I'm saying? Let's do something like that. Let's put this money into something that's gonna give back to the family. But y'all started putting the money in shit that's gonna take away from the family. Then when you lose the family, y'all both looking crazy and mad at each other, but y'all ain't make the right plays with the bag. You know what I'm saying? So I'm done. I ain't gonna go too long.
All right, y'all. So main thing I say when it comes to marriage or a long relationship, ask yourself: do you want governance or self-governance?
Mm.
That's what be one. That's going to be one of the key implications as you move forward throughout your life.
The boss.
One thing I do agree with Cam Newton 100% wholehearted. What he said, the Bible never said during a divorce a man should pay what he's paying. He said,
Mm.
if separation is to happen, he should like, provided something for. I won't say I disagree, but the divorce paying for 18 years, lifetime, alimony, they don't. It's not in the Bible. This is
What
why I say you gotta, huh?
No, I was gonna say what Juvie say. If a B leave me, I'm gonna take everything from him.
Hey, listen. You see how we went, brother. You see what he did, y'all. Y'all see what he did? I kept it clean. I kept it clean. I don't want to hear nobody comment at me this episode. Nah, that ain't me.
If a woman leaves, okay, not a B. All right, 2026. I gotta clean it up. All right. So this is where you're gonna hate me. Alrighty, so let's get a little political. You know, take the gloves off a little bit. So President Trump invaded Venezuela, kidnapped the commander in chief and his wife, and so let's just go over a couple of things. Venezuela was in a position to where they had 200 trillion cubic feet of natural gas reserves, 302 billion barrels of crude oil, 4 billion tons of iron, 8,000 tons of gold, 500 million coal reserves, 20% of the world's freshwater natural resources. We're talking nickel, copper, phosphate. Very rich place, but it was ruled by a dictator for over 25 years. Within this 25-year span, a lot of people have had opposition to how he maneuvered. Joe Biden. 1989, released a video, still viral. He said, yo, we need an international strike force so where we can go after drug lords and people, that fall in that bracket. International strike force, powerful words. And we've had Democrats, I name a few, Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, Dick Durbin, Tim Crane, Chris Holland, Chris Mumphrey, Jamie Raskin. The list goes on and on and on. Even the Biden administration was like, yo, we have to stop Venezuela. Which is ironic because when we did an episode on the Chicago ice raids, Venezuela was a hot topic that's involved within the Chicago ice raids because the immigrants were coming from Venezuela. So a lot of people could say you working with the ops, working with the enemy or whatnot. That's another conversation. But I would just simply say going after the leader, Maduro, of Venezuela, has been a hot topic for years. It's nothing new. Democrats were even condemning presidents such as Trump for not stopping the guy, quote unquote. So Trump go after the guy, make his move, make his play. Now we're here. Now, just taking over Venezuela temporarily, coming in contact with the oil alone puts us in a very good position economically, right? Because Venezuela had either the first or the second biggest oil reserve in the world, next to the Saudis. Okay, so America is like the number one producer of oil in the world, but we can't reserve it, so we don't have the reserves. So them taking over one of the biggest reserves in the world is powerful, right? So for the average person that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, gas prices are gonna go down. And if gas prices go down, food prices go down. It's a domino effect, right? So it makes everything a little bit more affordable for the average American. Okay, bet. Let's do it like this. So when I just talked about the Chicago ice raids and the ice raids and all this heat, when we had all these immigrants coming from Venezuela, right? Well, if they go over there and they expand and they build it up, infrastructure and whatnot, all these different things, well, maybe those people won't be so reluctant as to coming over here as illegals. Maybe they'll stay over there and maybe enjoy home a little bit more. That's a possibility, right? Not only that, Russia and China was using Venezuela to backdoor America. China was getting a lot of their oil from Venezuela and a lot of their natural resources. China is the biggest natural resource refinery in the world. So when China go wild, go crazy, and they say, look, we cutting off natural resources. No more silver exports. Nobody say nothing because they don't know what the fuck is going on or the role they play in that. People that's invested into stocks, people that study these things know that that's something heavy, but the average American don't even know what we're talking about. So that's a big chess piece for America, beefing with China and Russia. Russia was building like a military thing over there. You know what I'm saying? So if Russia or China wanted to strike America, they could do it from Venezuela. They was in cahoots with the guy. So when you knock that off the chessboard, now you're secure. You know what I'm saying? Now you're playing offense and defense a little bit better. So Venezuela, the whole thing was very powerful. And then you have to look at the people's reaction over there. The people were happy, celebrating. They've been on lockdown for so long, they want democracy over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying necessarily they want American rule, you know what I'm saying, for an extended period of time, but those people over there are celebrating. The people over here are angry. Well, the blue people, the avatars. I'm going to call them the avatars, the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? They're not so excited. So these are the things you just have to look at. And then if you want to look at the Iraq War, oil, the Bushes, we can go down the list of Obama, Bush, all these presidents that made these type of actions without the approval of Congress, right? And we took over nations. Anytime we put an American embassy American central banking system, whatnot, in these countries, and you can go down the list. It's like 9 or 10 or 11 countries, I believe. That was just one of the countries that haven't been scratched off. So nobody cried and complained when Obama went and killed, well, let's say, assassinated Gaddafi, enslaved Libya. No one cried about that. No one cried about it. Nobody gave a damn. So we can go down a list of how many times this has happened, time and time and time again. But since he did it, it's a problem. But I think it's a power play for America. It's a chess game, and that'll be my thing on it. I ain't gonna go too much hard on it. I think I played it a little light. I ain't say what I wanted to say. You got anything on that?
Man, there's an old video I watched over the Democrats in 2023, and they were talking about they
Got to
needed
get
to
them.
stop Venezuela. I watched the video. I was like, huh?
Got
And
to get them.
then all of a sudden, when it's executed this year, it's a problem. It's like, yo, you can't make this up. And
Yes, sir.
and one of the things they always say is sometimes when things are not done under your party, your team, it's problematic. Instead of just saying, hey, listen, we got it overall, let's move forward. The way I'm looking at politics at the same time is if it's not under us, hey, it wasn't supposed to happen. And it's wrong. And I just be like, I just kind of just look at things kind of crazy. Like, hey, it is what it is. Yeah. You go ahead, go.
All right. So my next thing on the politics side, we got Greenland. Greenland's next. Trump said, "You look, we probably take Greenland next." Greenland was already a topic prior to Venezuela, but once again, China is heavily invested into Greenland. Greenland is so unique because it's rich in minerals and resources. But the position, like if somebody takes over Greenland, they can strike America or pretty much anywhere because of the positioning. So I don't think people are really using a brain when it comes to a lot of these things. Like you're looking at the person that's making the plays, whether the plays are good and bad, good or bad, but you're not looking at the effect of the plays because somebody else is making the same plays. China and Russia was heavily invested into Venezuela, right? China was also going after Greenland. The Panama Canal. Who else was going after that? Who really like we we invested the money and the labor to build the Panama Canal. A lot of people don't know that.
Hmm?
Only in modern day to give it to China. So China going after Greenland. Trump like, yo, we finna take that shit too. Like, you have to get out of the mode of sometimes people just don't know what's best for them because it's not dressed a certain way. It's not, you know what I'm saying? You want to be manipulated so bad, you know what I'm saying, in the real world to where you're not literally using your brain. Something that's good for you is good for you. One thing I implement with just something simple as food, I always say, look, good food tastes good. Sometimes that shit do not taste good, fam. I keep it. Sometimes I'm eating something that's healthy that I don't really eat, and that shit is atrocious. But in my brain, I already got the mantra. I already got, you know what I'm saying, this whole mind game shit down packed to where I'm like, this is good for me. It tastes good. And for you know it, it's something new I add to the diet. This is how you gotta look at politics. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need Greenland. The Venezuela thing wasn't a bad thing, at least to my perception. Just gotta be wary, like with politics for sure, for sure. And then look at like things that China do. China is bullying every island and every nation that's close to them. China is one of the biggest bullies in the world, but we don't look at China as that. Well, some people don't because it's not how Trump moved. But they bully. They bully in the Philippines. They bully in everybody. But then when they go out in the media and say, "Yo, America is the bully," I'm like, "Really, fam? Like that's like the most y'all, yeah, women use this word a lot. The narcissistic shit that you could do. That's narcissistic like a motherfucker. Like you're the biggest bully, but you're like calling us bullies, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And then China are calling for their tech companies to stop buying Nvidia's H200 chips. Yo, this is the new war. Somebody made a comment about World War III. This is the World War III. You know what I'm saying? China already drawn the line in the sand and saying, look, y'all got dude from Venezuela. This is war. Fuck it. People got to pick who you want to trade with, who you want to do business with. This is going to cause sanctions. This is going to create like a whole new playing field for the world. So people got to pick sides. Companies got to pick, well, I want my labor done. Well, who chips I'm buying? This is the new World War III between America and China, for sure, for sure. There's no avoiding it. It's bound to happen. And I'll say this, um, when you have two quote unquote alpha men, this is what it looks like in modern time. If this was back in the day, it'd be boots on the ground, swords to necks, but this is the new playing field for World War III. America versus China. This is just how it works. So yeah, I'm done on politics thing, man. I don't think I made nobody mad.
Man, I
I don't
don't
think-
know, man. We'll find out every episode.
Yeah, they still be mad. Check the DMs. Check the DMs. All right, for the episode, man. For the episode, new year, new me. We're gonna thug it out on this one. Look, so for the new year, one of the first changes I noticed about myself, I'll let you back door on this one. My conversations are changing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of quiet on the phone now when it comes to certain people because it's like conversations don't interest me the same no more. You know what I'm saying? Like my conversations that I want to have now is strategically like, yo, business moves, acquisitions, investments. I ain't trying to talk about nothing else. Just keep it G with you. This year I made my second option. I've been in stocks for a minute. I'll post some of my results on my story. But I've done it before, but I've been dabbing into options, self-taught. I go to YouTube Academy. And I got books on charting and analysis. I probably pulled one off the bookshelf to let y'all know it ain't cap.
Hey, Black Boy said technical analysis, y'all.
Yeah. To learn this, I even taught myself stocks. You know what I'm saying? Even though I tapped into certain channels and certain content, but I was like, look, bro, like if I could play the game of life at the lowest level, if I could be a street guy and do all these things, then why can't I do it at the highest level? The highest level says that, you know what I'm saying, the average investor, the retail investor, they have no leverage in the market. Fam, okay, I've went against the odds all my life. So why can't I do stocks? Why can't I do investing? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to real estate, I don't need necessarily a license. I can go to an auction. You know what I'm saying? For free game for people that don't know. And in Texas, at least, I think the first Tuesday every month, land goes on sale at auctions in your county. You know what I'm saying? You can find out where to go in your county, and people go and purchase land. You get the deed to the land. You own the land. You don't need a license for that. You just need the money. You know what I'm saying? So the way my brain now is working in 2026, it's like, yo, get the assets. I'm not really worried about the bank account. If the bank account got a comma in it and it's over, let's say, 2 or 3 bands, I don't care. I honestly don't give a fuck. I need the assets. I need the security to know that the comma is in the account and it's over a certain amount, 2 or 3. And then after that, I'm investing as much as I can. My investment portfolio is going to be more or close to what's in the bank. That's how we rocking. So going back to it, like I made my second option play in stocks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say what the play is, but I would just say like, look, before we get to find your purpose, find out who you are, all that bullshit, find out how to acquire life-changing things that can affect you economically. I can't tell you the amount of years or time that I spent into studying stocks or real estate. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that eventually you have to have the courage. You have to have the ability, the mental fortitude to go into that dark space without the. Some people gotta go to school for something. Some people gotta pay for a course. I ain't saying nothing wrong with that, but sometimes you just gotta jump into the water. It's sink or swim. So, like I said, I made my second option play. I actually invested into crypto for the third time. First time I put all my money into Shibu, Anu, whatever Elon Musk said, and lost everything. Then I did Bitcoin ETFs, which I ain't really too connected to that, but XRP. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I really got into XRP. So I would just say, look, like find ways to own assets. The American thinking for the average person is buy a house and now you own something. Well, there are other things to own outside of that. And you don't own that until you pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talking about just life-changing events, look, build the eulogy while you're living. You know what I'm saying? Build the assets while you're here. You have to change your mental fortitude and your connection with money in order to actually elevate. So get you some assets, man. Like challenge yourself to learn new things revolving around currency. So that's my thing.
Yeah, and for me, I always tell people, listen, I'm more interested in just getting back to the basics, man. For me, the goal this year, work with my head down, isolation. So you need to be isolated at times in order for you to come back to get back into the world and do the necessary things that you need to do. Most people haven't learned how to isolate themselves to build themselves. They only isolate themselves because they're hurt. Two different things. I'm not shielding myself with isolation because I'm hurt. I'm isolating myself to elevate myself to step back out there. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things that I've been looking at like, man, listen, I ain't worked two jobs in years, y'all. I'm starting to look at it like, you know what? Maybe I'll just pick up a part-time job or some type of gig or something on the side just for the year. You know, whether it lasts another year or two, it doesn't matter. Just for the year, I want to just get back to that time period where they're like, listen, the only time you should be home is when you eat, sleep, and shit, and that's it. You need to be out that door. You need to be productive. You need to be doing the necessary things in order to see yourself grow. I be having some of the most uncomfortable conversations where when you realize where you thought you was, it really ain't much. And sometimes where you think you are, you really ain't go far. Like I said, sometimes where you can make, they say, don't ever confuse. What's up, Kendrick? Don't ever confuse motion with progress, or how they say you can be busy and not be productive. Those are all different things, and when you realize you got to really like, if you take time, a little bit of last year, I was writing down like, what went on for the year. You know, I had to really ask myself, was I busy or was I productive? Was I bull? Did I say I was going to do things and execute, or did I just talk a good game? One thing about anybody who talks well can still talk in bullshit. That's what y'all don't understand. You can still talk in bullshit and people believe you all day, but then your reality is you know what you have done. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't feel good when you don't hit certain metrics and numbers. Like for myself, you know, before I stepped into a new position now, uh, man, I was applying my ass off, man. I believe in pivoting yourself, doing the necessary uncomfortable things, losing sleep. Hey, listen, I'm still a believer in like take that one day out of the month and sleep as much as you can, or once a week. I'm a firm believer that you're not gonna ever tell me like a man should sleep past 9. I don't care, bro. You don't have to be with me. You don't have to be with me if I ever tell a woman ever tells me something like that. You don't have to be with me. You need to give your body that necessary reset, because after that reset, you can actually see yourself make progressive steps at the same time. Uh, it was crazy, man. I had got man. Listen, I got off the operating table Monday. My ass was like, "Yeah, man, I need to go make some money." It was like, "Fam, you're not supposed to do something for a week. What are you talking about?" It's like, "Man, yeah, man, bro, but you know, it's kind of boring, bro." I feel the pain, and the only thing on my mind is still making money. So there's times where you have to learn how to turn off certain things that's in you in order for you to actually get the things that's necessary for you. You know, I said hustle culture, that's real. That is 100% real. Hey, that is 100% real. There's no denying it. If you've been around a hustle culture, you ever been around myself, X, We always talk about moving forward. Hey, we got to be productive. We got to read a book. Hey, what did you read today? What did you do today? Um, so everything's always kind of fast, bro.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? One thing X learned, he like, hey, bro, sometimes Juice gonna take that nap before he get on podcast. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because after I take that nap on this podcast, I'm probably gonna be on the computer about 2 or 3 hours, read things, looking up things. I still have two things I need to accomplish from last year, uh, in the beginning of this year. Within the first quarter or second quarter. I don't have a lot of goals this year. Like I said, just get back to the basics is my goal. But whatever you didn't finish last year, you need to be finishing that within the first to second quarter. No if, whats, or buts. I caught myself with X. I said, X, you know what I'm saying? I said, bro, I took this personality test, man, and I was doing the assessment. I was doing very well. I got to math and I froze. It's like college algebra, some different, it's college algebra and some other stuff. And I literally froze so bad, bro. I exit out of the assessment and said, I got some work to do. I said I got some work to do because to me it made me feel a certain type of way because I usually do very well in assessments in math, but when it starts gearing towards another subject and section and I feel terrible, I shut it down. And I realized before I said, you know what, X, I'm about to enroll in some classes, take some courses for math. I caught myself. I said, hey, bro, you didn't even finish what you was supposed to do last year. That is not your priority right now. Your priority is finishing what you didn't finish last year for the first 3 to 6 months of this year. Then you go pivot to something else. Always remember this. It's not a priority if it's multiple things that you list as a priority. A priority is only number one thing you need to do as of right now. And what I need to do right now is finish what I didn't finish last year. I mean, yeah, finish what I didn't. Wait, start what I finished. I'm about to get confused in a second, but yeah, that's the goal, man. Get it back to the basics, y'all. Find out what it is. What back to the basics is you. For me, I wrote down things that made progress throughout my life. Reading books, I used to read at least a chapter a day. I went back to like, hey, listen, I might not be able to do a chapter now because I'm on goal mode, but let me at least do 10 pages, 15 pages. Because some chapters is way longer than that. And then depending on how thick the book is, you might not be able to finish it. So going back to reading, like I said, I'm very excited to get back into the gym, y'all. I already bought all my supplements. As soon as they say you're A-OK to go work out again, I'm working out, y'all. So getting my body back into the desired form that I have. And one of the things for myself, before I be too long-winded, which I am, is I want to get to my final form, right? Your final form is something that should be envisioned in you since you was a child of what you look like once you hit your highest level, what is 45, 65. What does your final form look like? What is your character? How do you look? How do you dress? I'm after my final form. I don't know what percentage level I'm at within my vision. Am I 40% there already? Am I 60% there already? But I do know within my final form certain characteristics that I wrote down that I have not, I would say I have not pretty much take to heart to put it all on the line. Meaning like, hey, listen, I'm patient in this, bro. I'm not really that patient when it comes to certain things. X to tell you, bro, I'm first nigga out. I have to say that where I'm first nigga out when it comes to certain things. I want to instill all that within my life, right? That's why they always say, write down your goals, write down who you are, envision yourself constantly. So getting back to basics is me wanting to upgrade myself to my final form, whether it's 3/4 there, 3/5 there, 3/6 there. I don't know. The whole purpose is to get to where I want to be within due time.
Man, for the people, my point now is the ADHD mentality. I wanna bet, but I didn't finish. I didn't finish. I didn't finish. People have conversations, and that conversations is not because they actually study something. It's because they had exposure to something. And I'm like, fam, don't talk to me. Just shut up. Don't say nothing else. You need to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to sacrifice the time. So let's do this. Let's do this. Boom. That's one right there.
Mhm.
Generational wealth. Boom.
Okay.
Uh, what we doing? Charting, technical
Mm-hmm.
analysis. Okay, boom, boom, boom. What we doing? Investing,
Mm-hmm.
gold and silver. You study the way gold and silver flows with the stock market and everything else. You see the trends. Boom. One of my Bibles, Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success. What we doing? Smaller book, still a Bible. Think and Grow Rich. Like, what we doing? Like,
Yeah, man, you made me want to look at my books now.
yeah, go get them. Go get them. Go get three of them at least. You know what I'm
But, I
saying?
mean,
Like,
listen, I literally got three right
go
there,
get
bro.
three.
Y'all gonna
Go,
laugh. I literally.
yeah, go get three. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing? Like, sometimes people really do this shit, and like some people play around with it. We in a world where I think like everything is feminine now, to where it's like what's sexy, what's intriguing, like what's what. How can we manipulate people
Oh,
to think that we live a way that we don't? Fuck that. Where your library? When I'm chopping it up with another dude on some like debate shit or real life shit or ego, mono. What's your library like, fam? Like, you
I'm
ain't got
glad.
me a
Listen,
library. We're like,
I order my
what,
books.
what,
They don't
what
really sell
videos you got on
copies.
your phone? What that YouTube look like? What videos you in your like section? Like, how we rocking? Like, the ADHD shit is cool, but you have to get somewhere and stay somewhere. Most of the books that I just like when I first started my path around like 18, 19 years old, it was all spiritual. First it was religious, then it became spiritual,
Hmm.
then it became scientific, uh, then heavily it became on finances and economics.
Hmm.
Why? Because I'm a person that believe in a trifecta. Every time I pray, make me stronger, physically, mentally, spiritually.
Let's get it.
I don't leave nothing out. Physically, mentally, spiritually. Offense, defense. I want it all. So it's like a lot of men, a lot of people, they settle for one out of the three, two out of the three. I want it all, physically, mentally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about astrology, numerology. We can talk about it. We could
Hmm.
also talk about investing stocks. We can talk about it. Assets. We can talk about it. Entrepreneurship. We can talk about it. We can talk about every level of it because if you want to be a master of life, I believe that you have to study the key aspects that you first are drawn to. A lot of people are drawn to things, but they don't master the things that they drawn to because they want to master the things they choosing and they picking.
Hmm.
Bam, like imagine you playing basketball against somebody and they good with their right. They could kill you with the right, but they still going to their left.
Hmm.
Ball getting stolen, shot getting blocked. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go right. Like people will be like, yo, what are you doing? That's life. The ego is attached to the wrong things. Master the things that you're drawn to first, right? And then we can use the leverage from the results of mastering those things. And then that's what you put into the things that you want to do. Your wants come second. You know what I'm saying? Like we started it with the women dressing a certain way in the church, or I said freedom is an acquired taste. You have to master the things that you're called to first. What is your calling? In the masculine world, we say, what is your purpose? And then we find out you may have more than one purpose, but why are you here? Let's cultivate that first. You know what I'm saying? And that's the leverage that we use to do the shit that we want to do. So the ADHD mentality just throws everything off. Kevin Samuels will shit on people when they call a show, especially men. I want to be a barber. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be this and that, and electrician and plumber. Like, fam, you only got one life. What are you going to do in this one life and master?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you really have to tunnel vision in 2026. I think is going to be the biggest thing that helps people. What are you going to do that you are attracted to that you can actually master, right? And then let's grow and build from there. You know what I'm saying? What up, bro? So you just gotta look at that and let's do this. I would ask people like, based on how you live, don't tell me how you think. Based on how you live, who is your God? Not the not what you want to say, but how you live. If most of the shit you do is surrounded by money or violence, or sexuality,
Mhm.
then that's your God, not who you say your God is. In 2026, I don't care about what you say. I only care about what you do. What are your habits? What do you do on a daily basis? That's who you are, not who you say you are, not the image you want to paint, not the picture you want to paint. Who are you? You are what you do. You a doer. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do on a daily basis? That's your God. You know what I'm saying? So we live in a world to where people can just say anything. You can say any fucking thing. And people believe that shit. And it's like, no, fam, like you're gonna get into a council of people that's gonna look at the results. What's your life like? Enlighten me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you stand for? What do you vote for? What's your principles? What's your morals? You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck what you say you rock with and don't. I want to know, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? So that's the vibes for 2026. Like, even if it's people that's close to me and I got empathy for, I still know I got to put more distance there because their actions don't align with mine. You know what I'm saying? Love you, but I can't fuck with you like that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to go to the top. You know what I'm saying? The peak of shit. And you may mean well or not, but you mean well, but your actions not showing that. So, can't really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, try and go to the top. So, in 2026, I would say, like, yo, shed that weight, whatever that looks like. Even in the fitness world, I'm somebody that most people would say that's in shape. But I'm somebody that also, I don't look in the mirror too often. That can be good and bad. So, not looking in the mirror, I only see that I'm not where I want to be. So everything else is like petty to me. Like, fuck that. I ain't done nothing yet. To me, I'm a fat person or a skinny person. I'm not a person I don't halfway shit. I'm not halfway there. Fuck that. I'm not there. So I'm always going back to the basics. Like, damn, what can I implement next? What I got to take next? Like, how I got to change this up? Going back to the basics. When you lose that edge in life, you lose your ability to exceed at your highest level because your brain stopped working. Your ambition stopped growing. You know what I'm saying? Shit stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever been a young guy that in your prime, you busting them out, you busting down the baddest, but then you get a little older, you like, I'd take the fat one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't even my preference. I take what I can kill. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What you
man,
mean?
when you hear people talk like that, I take the wounded animal. Fuck it. I know they can't really. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They can't
you
run
have
away.
to, yeah. Like, you have to pay attention to conversation. And they say like, how you fighting, how you go to wars, who you really are. Like, when you start looking for easy victories, you become accustomed to that energy.
Mm.
But when you always say, I want to challenge myself, I want to go after the baddest. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything got to be high level. My workout got to be it ain't got to be the toughest, but it got to be the right thing for me in that space. I got to challenge myself. Those are the people that thrive. First, before you thrive on the outside of yourself, you have to thrive within yourself. If
Mhm.
you're trying to thrive outside of yourself before you thrive within, then you're working backwards. Even if you get money and results and shit like that, it may not last long because you didn't fix the shit that's within.
Mm.
Hold on, man. I'm talking too much, man. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Oh man, that's it, man. Look, my 3 books. We go ahead and shut it down after
All
that.
right.